The importance of Domestic Violence Awareness Month is just to be able to highlight that it does exist, to be able to see the signs, and as a community, if there's guys out there that that are abusive, men, say something to your fellow brothers. Say, this is wrong, this is not right. And women, we need to come together and we need to empower women to speak up, to be strong, to know that you don't just stick around and stay in a marriage or relationship or situation, and it's not being the good wife or the good woman because you allow someone to abuse you. You're not strong because you take it. You're strong because you realize that you deserve better. So Domestic Violence Awareness Month is just a highlight to say, hey, let's pay attention to this issue that's out there, and let's begin to reach out to the people in our community that we know are going through it, and let's just stop it on the ground level. I grew up in a home with domestic violence, and I just as I grew up and I realized the impact that it had on my life, the struggles that I dealt with personally, me thinking that love was abuse, me thinking that I had to tolerate certain things. I just wanted, when my life got better, I thought it wasn't enough for my life to be better. I wanted to reach back, and I wanted to help the kids who were being abused, because I know what it felt like to be abused. I wanted to help the teenagers and the women, because I knew what every level of abuse was like. And so it touched my heart so much that I think the freedom that I had was not enough for me. I wanted that freedom to spread out through everybody that I came in contact with. And so that's just what got me started, because I had this hope in my heart that we could be loved and we can live normal, and violence is not normal. What on earth was I thinking? Why did I go back? Where did I go wrong? I have such a good life, and I have a ton of friends. Wait, I guess had is a better word. I haven't hung out with them much recently. You see, I've been focused on one thing lately: love. I met this guy a couple months ago. His name was Joshua, and we hit it off. He was so cute. I couldn't believe he gave me his number. We started talking on the phone off and on for a couple days, and he finally asked me out. It was a great first date. Everything was perfect. After that, we started hanging out more, and he called me every day. I remember, because he would call me every morning to wake me up, and every night at 9 o'clock exactly before I went to bed to say goodnight. And if I didn't answer the phone, he would leave messages like, "Where are you, Olivia? I hate having to wait to talk to you. Don't make me wait. I miss you." Well, after that, I started carrying my phone with me everywhere I went, because I didn't want to miss any of his calls. I thought it was so sweet that somebody cared about me that much. Well, he said, "I love you." I couldn't believe he had finally said it. I officially had the perfect boyfriend. He was the one. We were inseparable. Somebody always has to say something. My friends, they started complaining. They said, "Olivia, we never see you anymore. You act like you don't even have any friends. What's going on?" I couldn't believe it. I had found someone who loved me for me, and they were complaining because we were spending too much time together. I kind of understood. I missed them too. So they were having this party that they invited us to and asked me if I can come. So I went to ask Josh if he wanted to go, and he said, "Well, I'm really not interested. Those are your friends, not mine." I kind of understood. He wouldn't know anybody there, but I begged him to come. He finally said, "Fine, but you owe me." I really didn't think anything of it. I was just happy that we were going. So we went to the party. I had such a blast. I was hanging out with my friends, laughing, dancing, and talking and everything. But, Josh was kind of off in a corner by himself, and I kept running back and forth between him and my friends, which was exhausting. And I asked him, "Hey, come over and hang out." I tried to introduce him to some of the guys, and he just wasn't interested. So I hung out and I had a good time. About halfway through the night, he walked over to me and he grabbed my arm. It hurt. He held on pretty tight, and he said, "I'm ready to leave now." I was so embarrassed. I just went with him because I didn't want to make the situation any worse. My friends came up afterwards and they said, "Olivia, are you okay?" I just lied and told them I was fine. We got in the car, and I didn't really know what to say because I didn't know what happened. He looked at me and said, "Are you going to apologize to me?" I said, me apologize to you? Are you serious? You were the one that made the big scene the whole night, and I was just trying to like introduce you to some of the people. He said, I can't believe that you were walking around making a fool of yourself, laughing and dancing with all those other guys, embarrassing me in front of people I didn't even know. I said, wait, I kept running back and forth all night trying to introduce you to some of the people, trying to just see if you could make some friends of your own. I didn't know what the problem was. Before I knew it, he reached over and just kind of just shoved me into the car door, and it really hurt. I just sat there in shock. I didn't know what in the world was going on. I didn't even know who this guy was that I was in the car with anymore. We got to the house. He pulled up to my front door and he said, get out. And I mean, I got out as fast as I possibly could. I didn't know what was happening. I ran into the house. I shut the door. I laid on my bed and I cried my eyes out. I thought, this is the end of it. I know it. I'm never going to see this guy again. About an hour later, my phone rang and it was him. I didn't answer it, of course. He left messages. He said, Olivia, I'm so sorry. He said, I miss you already. I don't know what came over me. I was just kind of jealous, you know. I didn't mean to. I grew up with my dad, and he was abusive to my mom, and I promised myself nothing would ever happen like that, and I don't want to treat you that way. So if you give me another chance, don't leave me, Olivia. I promise it'll never happen again. Oh, I kind of felt bad for him. I mean, it was just one time, and I didn't knew he had such a bad home life. So I called him back, and I told him I'd give him another chance. We went out the next night, and everything was back to normal. He was this sweet and loving guy that I knew. He even brought me flowers. He knew I loved flowers. After that, he kind of sort of made more broken promises. The longer we were together, the more he lied to me. He kind of started out, it was a little, he got a little bit more possessive. I had to either be with him, or I had to be calling him or texting him, and he just wanted to know where I was. I wasn't having fun anymore. And he kind of pushed me a little bit, shoved me, nothing big, just he got more physical. And then we were having an argument, and if I tried to leave, he would just, he would pull my hair just a little bit to bring me back in, and I was ready to go. I was ready to be done with him, except for those times. When he acted like the man I fell in love with. He was that sweet, loving guy. And I wanted it to always be like that. I had hoped it would be that way again. So I stayed. We were hanging out one night, and some of his friends had called, and I never met any of his friends before, so they invited us out. So we went out, and we had so much fun, and I went to go get something to drink, and I came back over to where he was at, and I noticed that he was arguing with some girl. And so I walked over and everything to try to see if everything was all right, and I said, you okay? He turned around and he said, don't you worry about it. Before I could even say anything else, some girl popped from around him and she said, you must be the girlfriend. I said, the girlfriend? She said he told me he wasn't seeing anybody anymore, and we've been going out for the past few weeks, but you know what? You can have him. I thought, this is it. I wasn't putting up with any more of his mess. I was so tired. I couldn't believe he had done this to me. After everything we had been through, and now here he was with somebody else. That was it. I was done. I was leaving. I went to go leave, and I went to get my things out of one of the rooms. And as I was leaving, he kind of pulled me by my hair, brought me into the room, and he said, Olivia, you can't leave me. I said, this is it. I don't want to hear anything else. He said, please let me explain. I said, no. I was ready to go. He shut and locked the door. I never expected what happened next. He threw me down He put his knees on my chest and he started slapping and punching and hitting. I was so scared. The look on his face, I had never seen it before. I was ready to get out of that room. I was ready to go. I tried to get up. I punched. I screamed. I did everything I could. But I don't think anybody hurt me. Before I knew it, he put his hands around my throat and he started to squeeze. And it got tighter and tighter. He said, "I told you you can't leave me, Olivia. I killed myself without you. I told you you can't leave." I tried to scream, but I couldn't. His hands got so tight around my throat. I couldn't breathe anymore. The room went black. I guess he was right. I wasn't leaving. What on earth was I thinking? Why did I go back? I mean, where did I go wrong?